Most people don't realize that they are one emergency away from complete disaster. And I'm not joking. In 2024, 10% of people reported being able to comfortably afford a $1,000 emergency, but 18% of that same group said that they were only able to cover a $100 emergency. And these emergencies can come in all fronts, from vehicle repairs to unexpected medical expenses, or in my case, a sudden job loss. And if you're not prepared for that, you're doomed to spiral into this crazy world of anxiety and stress. But here's the thing, your life shouldn't stop because of one emergency. That's why in this video, I'm gonna give you 3 steps that you can start doing today to help you save a $10,000 emergency fund in 2026, even if you're starting with zero. Okay, first, I completely understand that the idea of saving $10,000 sounds like this impossible task, especially when you consider that the average median income from an individual person in the US is just over $45,000 a year. That means trying to save 22% of your income in an economy where housing is higher than it's ever been, food prices is through the roof, and the job market is scarier than it's ever been since the Great Recession. I thought the same thing when I was trying to build my emergency fund during the pandemic while working in a liquor store. But one of the things that really helped me was to look at it like video games. Think about it. If you're a gamer, it takes you about 120 hours to fully complete Grand Theft Auto 5 and over 200 hours to reach the highest online prestige in Call of Duty. Yet you don't think about those hours because you're so caught up in things like the storyline, the cutscenes, the individual gameplay, that these hours just fly by before you know it. And just like with video games, you could break down that massive $10,000 number by just looking at it in smaller, more manageable chunks. Instead of looking at it as $10,000 in a year, what if it's $833 a month? More manageable, but that still sounds like part of your rent or a car note. How about $192 a week? It's manageable, but that's still pretty high depending on your income. But what if I told you that $10,000 in a year is the same thing as saying $27 a day? To a lot of us, that is a single meal out, whether it's lunch, dinner. But did you notice anything different when I was mentioning all of those numbers? See, while they all equal out to $10,000, the smaller numbers actually feel more manageable to us. Because doing this not only makes the number feel more manageable, but it removes a huge mental burden that stays in your mind when you think about saving money. So pick one of these numbers that feels more manageable to you and break down that $10,000 into these goals. Okay, so you have your goal in place, but where should you get started implementing it? Well, the best place to actually start is your kitchen. See, the average food cost for an individual can be as high as $550 a month. And for 2 people, it can even be as high as $900 a month. That's without counting things like restaurants and takeout. And before my job loss, I was spending upwards of $1,000 a month on things like Uber Eats, DoorDash, restaurants, and that was just for me. It wasn't until I finally moved out of New York City and discovered the beauty of Walmart that I was finally able to cut my food costs in almost half. But I'm not gonna tell you that you need to cut restaurants entirely or live off of 10 for $1 ramen. What I am telling you is that if you slightly adjust your food costs on a monthly basis, you could find upwards of 25% of your monthly $833 goal. But how? For starters, you can switch out those name brand items that you buy in the supermarket for store brands. Think Walmart's Great Value, Target's Good and Gather, Costco's Kirkland. These brands taste pretty much the same as their name brand counterparts, but at a fraction of the cost. Or if you're craving fast food and you hate waiting, skip the third-party delivery sites and order directly from the fast food company's mobile app. Places like Chipotle, Wendy's, McDonald's, they made great strides in their mobile apps to allow customers like you and me to actually place our orders from the app and pick it up in store. And if you even go on these apps, you can even find discounts that'll get you more food for less money. This next one may be hard to hear, but your tech is the biggest reason why you spend so much money. See, the average person in the US spends on average 5 hours a day glued to their phones or their laptops. And if you're anything like me, you're probably way over that. We download apps that constantly send us notifications to buy things. We scroll on social media where we're constantly bombarded with product ads, sponsor reads, and people begging for galaxies on live streams. And it's not just these devices. Our smartwatches, our TVs, and now even our refrigerators have become 24-hour advertisers that have the goal to make us spend more money. If you can limit your exposure to these, you can instantly find even more money that you can throw into your $10,000 emergency fund. And here's some ways how. First, turn off those notifications from those pesky apps on your phone. This will keep apps from blowing up your phone trying to get you to make a sale. Second, don't spend the money on smart products if you know you don't need them. You don't need the $5,000 Samsung smart fridge to just keep your food cold, the same way you don't need the $300 Apple Watch just to tell you what time it is. Finally, and this is something I never really hear about, is if you can afford the ad-free version of your favorite subscription services, do it. Now, I'm not talking about spending $20 to $30 a month on 10 different subscription services, because that'll be nuts. But if you have 1 or 2 streaming services that you go on every single day, splurging for the ad-free version of it will actually save you money in the long run. Now, does it cost more? Yes, absolutely. But you'll be surprised by how much you won't want to spend money because you don't have pesky ads in front of your face every 5 minutes. And honestly, the viewing experience is just that much better. Speaking of viewing experience, if you want the best viewing experience that'll help you save money on the long term, be sure to subscribe to this channel. I am hitting 2026 hard with trying to create more content that'll put more money in your pocket in the long run. Okay, so we got our goal for the $10,000. We adjusted our food pricings and we made sure to not have those pesky advertisements in front of our face. So what do we do next? Well, the next thing you have to worry about is where are you gonna place this money? And I'm gonna make this as easy as possible. You'll wanna put it in what's called a high yield savings account that is separate from your day-to-day bank account. But what's a high yield savings account? It's basically a savings account, typically in an online bank, that offers you a higher interest rate than your traditional brick and mortar bank. See, while your Chases and your Bank of Americas may offer you 0.05% interest when you open a savings account with them, high yield savings accounts are known to offer things like 3, 4, and even 5% interest on your money. This can mean making an extra $350 a year on your $10,000 savings by putting it in a high yield account versus a regular savings account. But you're probably wondering, what's the best high yield savings account for you? Well, for me, I went with Marcus by Goldman Sachs. Why? Because it's backed up by a very big name in the finance industry. My money is insured for up to $1 million through the FDIC. And more importantly, it's completely separate from all of my other bank accounts. So if you want to learn more about Marcus and how they can help you with your savings journey, be sure to check out the link down below. But when you put all of this together, something changes in you. You feel like life stops happening to you, and for the first time ever, you finally have a bit of control. And that's exactly what this $10,000 goal is designed to help you do. And the best part of it is if you made it this far in the video, you already took the first step into making this life change for you. So if you're ready to keep building that financial future that you always wanted, be sure to check the next video here.